Hello guys, welcome back to Sports Angle. My name is Shantru Vyas and I'm back here with your favorite segment, What Makes Them So Great. So this time we will be covering an athlete who needs no introduction. He is literally someone who bleeds blue, has made India proud all over the world, and by this you can understand who it is. It is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So there's a lot to talk about Mahendra Singh Dhoni as to what makes him so special as a leader, why he is one of the greatest cricketers, and why, in my opinion, he is the greatest Indian cricket captain of all time. So, without wasting much time, let's get into the details. Now, the man behind me needs no introduction, but nonetheless, let's do it. All the cricket crazy fans know that this guy has played over 500 international matches across Test cricket, ODI cricket, and T20. He scored over 15,000 plus international runs doing that. Now, obviously, he's an IPL superstar with Chennai Super Kings. He's literally worshipped as a god out there. But what makes Mahendra Dhoni so special and why he is considered as one of the greatest Indian cricket captains of all time? I think to start off with is his silverware count. He's the only captain to have won all the three ICC tournaments, which is the 50-over World Cup, the Champions Trophy, and the T20 World Cup. Now we all know the T20 World Cup was a special occasion for India. After a long time, India had won a World Cup after 1983, and you saw Dhoni and his young lads, conquering the world in South Africa. Now, it was a very marquee final, and I think that was probably the career-changing moment for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. From there on, he was also made captain of the ODI team. And once he was back home, he took over Australia and he lost that series. However, when he went back to Australia for the Commonwealth Bank series, where it was a tri-series between India, Australia, and Sri Lanka, he managed to win that and was one of the first captains to have won an ODI series in Australia down under. And it was absolute havoc in the media. It was everywhere quoted that this guy will be the guy who will bring India that 50-over World Cup, which was long awaited. Now, once progressing into that World Cup, Dhoni's form wasn't at the greatest, and we all know how he struggled to convert even his 30-40s to big scores, which he is capable of. Now, Dhoni is one of those players. Once he is at the crease, he can win you matches single-handedly. And also from a standpoint where we talk about, he did not have like a skill of a Tendulkar who had his head still and his forearms straight, and you could hit those cover drives and straight drives. Dhoni was pure power, and he knew how to get the runs. His style was very unorthodox when he was keeping. He's got one of the quickest hands still in the game. If you see in the IPL, which happened earlier this year, and which will again happen. So that's also very good to see him back in action. So those kind of attributes also helped Dhoni. So going into that World Cup, I think everybody had huge expectations from Dhoni and his team, and this is probably one of the best squads India had ever produced in terms of balance. So it got one of the best batting lineups, got one of the best bowling lineups, very good spin attacks, and absolutely world-class talent which could win matches out of hopeless situations. Now, Dhoni going into this World Cup, obviously, as I said, was not in great form. But come to the final, where India needed a batsman who in form. Yuvraj Singh was supposed to go into that slot, but Dhoni said, no, wait, I will go, because he has faced Radev and he has faced Bhutia Muralidharan in the nets for CSK. So there is where you see, Dhoni taking those calculated risks. Also an instance where during the Champions Trophy, it was very little to defend. It was a 20-over game, reduced due to rain. He gave the overs to Ishant Sharma, who's not probably the best at death bowling. Ishant Sharma's spells are most effective in the first 10 to 20 overs of a game. And that is where he gives Ishant Sharma the death overs, and Ishant Sharma takes out Owen Morgan as well as Ravi Bopara in 2 consecutive balls, and both the catches were taken by Ashwin. So, wow, that's a mother of coincidence, but at the same time, Dhoni's calculated risks are something, they are always to be cherished. He's the first IPL captain to have defended his title, so that just shows a lot, because, in a league, winning it for the first time is, it's good. It's a great glory moment for the fans, for the owners, for the players themselves, but going out there and defending it when we know that the margins in the IPL come to almost a millimeter, that's how good Dhoni is in executing his plans and understanding a lot about it. Now let's quote some ex-players of India who have played under him and have quoted him. So Suresh Raina, for example, always says that Dhoni has 2 plans in his mind when he's going to the ground, and all plans are made to win the game. There's nothing for salvaging the game. He always believes that the game is under his control. That's why he is known to be Captain Cool. And most of these players, the main word they use for Mahendra Singh Dhoni is trust. Now, the trust Mahendra Singh Dhoni embodies on his players, two classic examples you are seeing right now in the team who have become stalwarts, and have taken the responsibility of scoring runs and winning games for India single-handedly. One is Virat Kohli, who's probably, I feel, has changed the landscape of Indian cricket and the way we approach the game. Second is Rohit Sharma. Him opening the batting was one of the marquee master strokes by Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And these lads, they can only transfer this knowledge onto the younger guys such as Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, and so on and so forth. India has a large pool of talent. We can make another video talking about that. Now, secondly, what is the main thing which is making the buzz and what is making the main kill? That is, Dhoni is back into the T20 squad, but not as a player, as a mentor. So how is that going to be impactful? And many people are having their doubts, as to whether it will be good between him and Ravi Shastri. His relations are not good with Virat Kohli. But I think that's all noise. That all can be kept apart. I think, when Dhoni will speak in the dressing room, all these chaps will listen. Dhoni's experience in pressure situations is bar none. His brain thinks like an engine when pressure situations come about. And that is what I feel India have missed in pressure situations in ICC tournaments, where we have played good cricket. We have had fantastic spells of both batting and bowling, but there is that little X factor which we need in terms of keeping your calm, having that contingency plan, having that plan B, and executing that to its very best. And that's what Dhoni is known for. And that is why he's got into that mentorship role, to only, imbibe that mentality into the players, is to keep calm, that the match is in your hands, and at the end of the day, you have to give it your 100% till the last ball. And I think Mahendra Singh Dhoni is someone who embodies that, he reflects that, and it will only rub off on these players. Now, most importantly, what I feel is that it will not only help these younger players, but it will also take a lot of pressure off Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, who will be under immense amount of, attention to score runs and, to show their leadership skills, X, Y, Z. So Dhoni also is a very good sponge of pressure, and he takes that onto himself, like fish to water. Precisely what I feel, India's chances going into this T20 World Cup are always great. India always has a very good squad, a very balanced squad. So, and coming off the IPL, because it's happening in the UAE, you feel that India will have the slight edge over the other teams. However, what I most feel important is that the players should not get too very tired because of what has happened now in England, and they're traveling and it's IPL, and then after that. So I think a lot of good recovery time is needed between the games happening in the IPL, which will be very well managed by the franchisees. I have no doubts about that. But really exciting to see, Dhoni back into those colors, where he'll be on the field. Him just being around in that dressing room will be buzzing for the lads, and I hope they go out there and put on a huge show in the UAE and bring that cup home. I hope so you are doing that too, and I will make another video talking about the IPL teams as well, probably like 4 to 5 teams who I think are favorites. I'm a Mumbai Indians fan, but let's see who wins the cup this year. There are a lot of things which you have to weigh down in terms of who's been in form after the first leg of the IPL, and how it will impact the second leg of the IPL in the UAE. Now, obviously talking about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, to finish it off with, he just retired a year ago from international cricket after having a sabbatical or so, and everyone saw the tears when he got run out by New Zealand in that 2019 World Cup. Now, what we saw of a player was not him not thinking about, oh, I'm not going to play for India. He was just very, very saddened that he could not win that match for India single-handedly, because it's his habit. He just finishes off games, and he is so calm. He is absolutely poker faced till the last very ball, irrespective there are 6 runs needed or 4 runs needed or 2 runs needed, and he's always produced the goods. So that was kind of anti-climax. So even it was very difficult for me to believe that that Dhoni was not taking the match to the distance, and that happened. But that's that's the game, and that's what makes the game really beautiful, and that's what it is all about. Now, hopefully in UAE we can make it our time, and hopefully we see the lads absolutely doing it again for Dhoni. They have extra motivation, so let's hope they bring it home this time. And yeah, I'll be cheering for them. You should be too. Now, thank you for watching this video. I hope you like, share and subscribe, and we can see more of this cricket content coming in, because it's a huge cricket season. There's IPL, then there is the T20 World Cup, so we're going to have a nice time. So see you again in the next video.